is Sheets, and we're off to a late start because the NBA slate is a late start. The unfortunate reality is that the NHL had to suffer due to the timing, and that just is what it is. What we're going to do is we're going to go over the NBA slate with the news we have as of now, 7 p.m., and we're going to go over who we think are good plays, and then we're then going to just go ahead and start building. And then we are going to do the same thing with the NFL showdown slate between the Jets and Houston. We'll talk about that a little bit as well. And again, I don't know if people are logging into the wrong stream, whatever, expecting to see Breeders' Cup live streams, but that is not going to happen. I did do my video on the Breeders' Cup yesterday or the day before, actually. I think it was yesterday, and that is probably going to stand. I don't think I'm going to make any changes with that. And the first day of the Breeders' Cup starts tomorrow, and the main day of the Breeders' Cup is Saturday. So let's get things going, and let me just pull up SaberSim to start off with. Okay. We'll start off with the NBA, I guess. Although we probably should start off with the NFL because we might get some news in the NBA, but I just did the projections for the NBA, so let's keep an eye on that. I do still see some questionable tags with Lauri Markkanen and Steven Adams. If anybody has any information on that, feel free to let me know, and I will redo the projections if necessary. But let me just launch my projections here so I can kind of see them. And I think Bobby should be back tomorrow. We shall see, though. So it looks as though the value hasn't really changed much, if at all. You know what? Screw it. I'll show what I have here. So like right now, as far as point per dollar plays in the NBA, it's really the same as it was earlier. You had Zubac up here at the top. Adams is playing. Thank you very much. You take it on Memphis. All right, here we go. So we're getting all the questions coming in right now. Zubac still looks good at the top. Sohan still looks good at the top as far as the value range. Norm Powell still looks good. Yeah, you mentioned Memphis, huh? So these guys that I didn't think about earlier are showing up a little bit in the Memphis group. And that would be Jake LaRavia and Santi Aldama, but it's not as if they're look like smash plays. They're just like kind of decent values. And aside from that, it's just kind of a standard type slate, it looks like. We'll rank them by Sheets value score again, and it's just, as usual, you'll have Giannis, Jokic, Wemby, but it's hard to get to. I guess that Harden would be the stud, if he's even called that anymore, that you can get to much easier because of his lower salary. And then if you wanted to stack, it's not really my thing, but if you did want to stack, you could play Harden and Zubac together. And then you could also play with Norm Powell, and play all three of those guys in a kind of a hand-built lineup. In this late game here, it certainly makes some sense. Well, let's see. Let's see the FanDuel, see what that looks like. And after we do that, we're just going to go ahead and just start building, I guess. And if any news comes out, just someone ping me, and then I'll have to redo everything. But there are ways around that as well. So on FanDuel, the difference here is Chris Paul at 5,400 is going to look really good. So, and then LaRavia, even better on FanDuel at 4,500. So those guys and Van Vliet, who I, again, almost forgot to mention. Look, it's a 4-game slate. It's not particularly, difficult per se, but to try to get unique is kind of hard. All right, so thoughts on Clarkson and Collins? I mean, let's just see what they look like. Yeah, Clarkson just kind of dropped down the list for me to some degree. I don't know what to say. And I actually have Kessler even better than Collins. I don't even know where Collins is. Yeah, I don't know. I got to redo Collins, I guess. So let's go ahead and build. All right, let's put in. Let's go to the NBA here. We're here. Let's upload our projections and see what we get. Yeah, one thing I am going to do. Says Conchar is doubtful. Yeah, that's. Do I have Conchar projected? Let's see what this Memphis thing looks like here. Let's see, Conchar. Oh, he's doubtful. All right, so we have to change that. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, and that's actually a pretty good point. But Bongo. Let me just see what we have on Utah here. Yeah, John Collins. He looks just okay, I guess. So if we go back to Memphis, if we just kind of change just the Memphis guys, for example, Conchar is doubtful. Is that what you're saying? So we'll get rid of him. Let's see. Anybody got bumps? Clark got a little bit of a bump. LaRavia, we're going to keep with this high projection. Pippen will keep up high. We'll err on everybody being just a little bit higher. And I'm getting Pippen with like a 27-point projection as opposed to Clarkson with what? 26. So they're about the same as far as I'm concerned. As far as ownership goes, I'm getting Clarkson at what? 15% ownership compared to Pippen at even less than that. So maybe Pippen's a little bit better, but I don't know. I think they're both pretty good plays. So we changed the Memphis, and now let's just let's build 5,000 and see what we get. I wonder if it's the same as it was earlier, where we get all kinds of Jeremy Sohan, or if these Memphis guys are going to start to kind of take over. Well, we're going to see. And unfortunately, yeah, I see. I don't think that would help him too much, but Bongo. I mean, he's really, really good off the bench, or historically, he's been really good off the bench. Just between those two, I guess Harden. If it's really just those two. All right, so when we just run this with nothing else, we get let's see what our exposure looks like. Like almost all the Zubac. Yeah, we are still waiting on Lowry news, right? That's 9:00. Zubac, Sohan, Irving, Powell, just the guys that we've talked about all day long. 40% Giannis, that's interesting. Yeah, but Zubac looks to be just be dominating the optimals. And the Sohan one is, again, it's a little bit fishy in general because he doesn't really, it's not that real ceiling type of guy. Champagne sucks now. Okay, fair enough. So interestingly, so when we run the Sims, we're actually getting little less Zubac and a little more Kyrie. So take that for what it's worth. And so the next thing we got to do is we got to kind of screw around with these uniques here. So the min destination ROI is 94. So let's crank up the min uniques a little bit until we get yelled at here. Tomorrow, by the way, is my favorite day of the year. Breeders' Cup Day, as far as gambling goes, is just the best. 81.4 down to 49. All right, so that should be good enough. We'll go back to min uniques 3. And that should be plenty. I saved it that way. I didn't want to do that. I want to go into autofill. Because when you go into autofill again, that gives you unique lineups in every contest, which is what I like. So now we go save to contests. Well, Harrison Barnes, yeah, he's been breaking hearts in DFS since the beginning of time, right? And it's very rare that you finish a slate and you say, God damn, I wish I had more Harrison Barnes. It's always, damn, why'd I have so much Harrison Barnes? I hear you. Nah, I can't do it. I thought about it too, about the Sengun. I mean, he has such a ceiling. Ooh, why am I getting Bradley Beal? I didn't even know he was back. Optional shoot-arounds? Is it officially questionable? Okay. It's really cheap. Just got a couple of those. Let's see what it says about Lowry right now, actually. Questionable. Just questionable. Ugh. I think I have interest in Booker or KD anyway. Project Mayhem. But yeah, sure. If Beal is out, it makes those guys even better. Yeah, I think Beal probably plays also. Let's go to FanDuel. And let's just see if we get all that Chris Paul that we. Yeah, we're gonna find out right now, Mr. TJ, because that's what it looked like in the projections. Was it was going to jam all kinds of Chris Paul. Let's see if I actually get it after we run this. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to update the Memphis guys. So hold on, I got to do this again. You know what's like seems really interesting is that the New York football teams have a combined record of, I mean New York, I mean the Giants and the Jets. No offense to Buffalo, but the Giants and Jets have a combined record of something like 3-10 or 3-11 or whatever it is, and yet they're on primetime football every week. It's a little that's pretty strange. Filipowski, that's going to be the dude. If he's out, that's possible. All right, we're going to keep these projections the same. It doesn't look like Conchar being out is really affecting anybody here. So when we run these, we're getting actually 90% Chris Paul, like you when you were asking me. Why does it say 78% Conchar when he's out and have a 0 projection? All right, so let's figure out what's going on here. Filipowski, huh? Why does it say 78% on Conchar? We gotta get rid of him. Now I'm curious what this is doing here, actually. So when we save the contest, let's see if it's giving us Conchar. No, it's not. Okay. Yeah, it's giving us actually all the Giannis because of all that value. Let's see, Keontae George. Sure, why not? But as you were saying, I mean, there is news still pending about this about Lowry. Okay, but that's good to know. I mean, it's good to know, even if it never happens. It depends on when that news comes in. Like if Lowry news comes in like 10 minutes to post, you know that the projections aren't going to update quickly enough, and you could just be ready with a with Filipowski swaps. And that's unfortunately the way NBA is just being very well prepared. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in about 3 minutes. I just want to see something. Just want to see what we're in. I want to put this on Stake Kings, actually, the NBA, the FanDuel. What is this? The monster and the scary shot? All right, let's put this up real quick. Lowry is officially ruled out. Okay. Well, let's first. Well, that's very different. That's why you're supposed to do football first, right? That's why I should have learned my lesson. Hang on. So let's put up the football, and then we will go back and see what's going on. I don't think we're going to get any projections for Utah for a little bit, right? Maybe it's that Filipowski character. Oh, you know what I just saw that I did? I think I put up my FanDuel, my DraftKings stuff on Stake Kings with with the 7 p.m. start time. I think I might have closed people out. I wonder if I can start that over. So this is what we'll do. We'll do football, and then we'll come back to the Utah situation. Okay. That kind of sucks that I did that. Let's see if I can extend. Can I extend it? I probably can't, right? No, it looks like it's closed. But it looks like people bought it anyway. Wow, early. Oh, sick. Okay. Okay, yep. Oh, thanks, guys. Awesome. So we got a little bit of time, a little bit. But let's just see. I wonder if they actually updated anything on SaberSim with respect to him being out. That would be awesome if they did. Yeah, they didn't even update this yet, huh? So we're just gonna have to wait. Now you were mentioning the Kyle Filipowski. Well, first of all, someone's gonna start instead of him. And you could say, you know what, I could just wait, and you can, but it would be better to act early. If you knew that you can, that there are some Utah guys you'd want to play. So let's see. Again, let's see if there's any difference here. Let's reset this, see if it updated yet. Utah still not up there yet. Okay. So let's then, we're just sitting here waiting on Utah stuff, right? So I guess let's talk about the football game. Before I do that, you know what I can do? I mean, I could at least take out the marketing guys, just in case I forget, right? We could take out the marketing lineups if I have any. Let me just see. Marketing, did I have any of him? Yeah, I had 5%. I may as well get rid of him, right? right? And then we'll resave these to contests. We'll do the same thing for FanDuel, and then we'll go back to football. Back to here, FanDuel. Marking it out. Okay, so it's already going to do this. Good. Rid of this. So this one, so they already have marking it out here. So maybe they changed the projection. And then we will talk about Houston, the Jets as well. All right, so let's see. First of all, let's see if they did anything. One more time. Let's go back to the marketing. See if they updated the projections. Utah. Yeah, they gave him a 0. And what did they change? Nothing yet. So these guys are all the same right now. But I'm not convinced that's going to stay. So we're just going to continue to monitor this. All right, so you're asking which Houston receivers to play. First of all, don't forget, if you play this slate, that the Jets activated Riley Patterson as the kicker. So he is going to be the kicker of record on the slate tonight. And I do believe that he's going to be relatively lower owned because it was questionable all day. I don't think it's going to be that low owned, but I think it's going to be relatively low owned. So I think it's not a bad idea. And the reason why you're asking is, Nico Collins is out for openers. But listen, the obvious thing to do is be very happy with all the Tank Dell, right? But aside from that, you get Dalton Schultz, tight end. I mean, he'll get more work. You get Xavier Hutchinson, John Mechie. He's 2,800. Robert Woods at 3K. You could even play Cade Stover at the tight end position. As a matter of fact, I even have a couple of Steven Sims lineups. So it's mostly going to be more Tank Dell, I guess. Yeah, I thought so too, Jimmy. I apologize. It's really my fault. You can just go ahead and you can rewind if you want and go back to catch up. We didn't really go over too much. We did the NBA, but we have to do it again anyway because Larry Markkinen was just ruled out, and I do apologize. I thought I would be able to start this at 7:30, but just wouldn't have enough time, as we've just seen. So as far as Houston goes, and we will get back to the NBA in a moment, I think all these guys are legitimately in play. I think Tank Dell, obviously the top dog. That doesn't say much because he's, that's pretty obvious. But I think he's spread out. Some Hutchinson, Mechie, Robert Woods, even some Cade Stover. I think that makes some sense. One thing that, well, I want to get back to the Jets also. Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, even Mike Williams, 3,600. He's in play. Like all these receivers for the Jets are somewhat in play. So yeah, there's that. But I want to see something with respect to how the sims are working because I thought it was very interesting when I did this earlier. Let's do it again though. We're going to upload the projections, and what I saw when I ran this stuff earlier is there was the big difference between what we'd be getting just using the SaberSim rankings versus the Sims is the captain exposure. I was getting all of the running backs for your regular SaberSim builds, that being, Breece Hall and see how it's showing up right here. So when you just run the regular SaberSim builds, I'm getting in the captain 40% Brees Hall and 25% Joe Mixon. And that certainly, certainly makes a lot of sense, right? But then when I ran the Sims earlier today, and I want to see if it's the same thing, I was getting more of the wide receivers in the captain. So I'm curious to see if that same dynamic happens again now that I've updated the projections. I believe it will. I believe we're still going to get that same dynamic, but let's just take a look. Yep, you see that? So now the top captains move to Tank Dell and Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson. And I think the reason for that, again, is just the way wide receiver results distribute. They do have a very wide range of outcomes. And when that happens, and you're simming, you're comparing it to what you think other people are going to be playing. You're going to want those wider range of outcomes in those types of builds. So I happen to like this approach. I actually think I'd rather get a little more Mike Williams than say 6%, but that's just kind of up to you. But I definitely like the idea of putting the receivers in the captain here. So yeah, so let's first in the autofill, we'll put in the Wildcat and the Spy. We'll put in those. And then we're gonna save these. 7:33. Yeah, we got time. All right, so that's good. And then I have another set of sim lineups that I want to play. So I want to actually run the Sims. Wait, we just did that already, right? So Spooky Showdown. I want to just save these 100 to another file for kind of for my own reasons. But I definitely think that's pretty sharp to put the receivers in the captain. And in the lottery, that's going to make some sense. How do we hold on? We want to just download these. How do I just I don't want to save the contest. I just want to download these. So let's go to direct fill, I guess. Yeah, so let's do this. We'll go I'm going to download these because I have another set that I want to combine this with. Yeah, so these are the 100, but there's another set that I want to kind of do here. Hold on. I got to do something. Sorry about this. Projections, line start. Hold on a minute. Simulation results. Okay. Yeah. So hold on. Data filter. And then we wanted to do median dupes. Okay. And we'll put these. Hang on, then we'll put these in here, and then we'll get back to the NBA. No, actually, we can't yet because I have to do FanDuel. And again, the more tournaments you play, and the more you use SaberSim, the faster you get at this. These got to go here, right? Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't duplicate anything myself, and then we'll get back. We'll get back to the NBA. I think we're going to have a good projection here in a second. But let's just see, and we'll got to do FanDuel. Sorry. Showdown. So we do have a couple of dupes, but these because these are in the So we just got to do a manual change here from. We'll go from Imwabuki. We'll put a Stover one in there or a Gibson. Why not? And this one, again, I just duped this by mistake. So that's fine. We'll swap Woods out for maybe Mike Williams. Oh, we can't do that, actually. Everybody from the same team. Just for, how about for Hutchinson? And then this one we'll do, instead of Schultz, maybe we'll play Conklin. And then we'll be kind of good with that. All right. Let's do FanDuel. FanDuel Showdown. And then we'll get back to NBA. We got 20 full minutes. Plenty of time. Did I even run the projections yet for NFL for FanDuel? That's a good question. No, I didn't change anything, but that's okay. So let's build 2,000 lineups. Boom. What happened to the... Oh, here. So we run contest sims. And it's the same type of things. You'll end up probably with more MVP captains, MVPs of receivers once we sim this. Let's see. Yep, there it is again. Same idea. I like it. I really like it. And up it goes to FanDuel. And then we'll go back to the Lowry days here. All right, let's see what they did to us for Lowry. NBA. FanDuel first or DraftKings first? We'll go DraftKings first. And let's see what we got. And of course, somebody's texting me with 20 minutes to post time. Let's see what happens with the Lowry situation here. Yeah, so it looks as though it looks like there are changes here. So what we're going to do to kind of to solve this dilemma, instead of having to rerun all the projections right now, is this is kind of the cheat code. Is we will use the same projections that we had, but for Utah, we will change it. So Lowry is 0, and all these guys. Stace, I'll do it, honey. Oh, okay. So we changed these Utah guys here. Build lineups. Let me do it, hon. Stays. Please don't take it in. Okay, so let's see how this changes things. Let's see if I get these Utah guys after all. Yeah, some Clarkson, but it's not as if it's the end of the world, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the DraftKings things. I'm going to get out of here because I have an errand I have to do, and then I'll come back and do the FanDuel a little bit later. But I think that that's kind of the deal for tonight. Again, for the Houston Jets game, I would focus in on the receivers as far as captains go. And then, was alley-oop up here? And then for the basketball, you do want to, I guess, play Clarkson. I think Clarkson's probably the best play here now. All right, so let's do this. Download lineups, upload, and then downloads. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, that should do it, everybody. Good luck in the Breeders' Cup.